Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Papercraft with Kay. I'm so pleased that you are here with me today, and I'm hoping that you will like what I have going to show you today. Give me the thumbs up if you do, and make a comment. That would be helpful for my channel to grow, and I'm so grateful for all of those people who have already subscribed, and welcome to all those new subscribers. So today I'm participating in Margarete Miller's CW Planner Challenge, which is a 52-week challenge for the year, and I'll put Margarete Miller's Etsy links down below if you want to still join in. It's never too late. You can always just not do one collage every week like we are. Like last year I started so late that I was doing 2 or 3 a week. Anyway, we're up to week 10. So the prompts are a hat, something that represents transportation, stamping in non-blank ink, numbers, hometown, whatever that means to you, and the bonus would be geometric strokes. And I've just realised that I was going to use 2 colours, and do you think I remember to get the 2 colours out? Because I've got red, I should say, what's it called? Fired brick, and I wanted to use a denim, faded denim. I forgot to get that out, which is very remiss of me, so I apologise. Here I am looking for it, and I should have had it out earlier. Anyway, while I'm looking for it, I'm going to do some stencil shapes with the circles I have here. This is a homemade template that I made. Then for something hometown, this is Mountain Ash. Mountain Ash is in Wales, and that's where I was born. And I came to Australia when I was 7, so this is where I was born. So to me, hometown is where you were born. I mean, I've lived in Australia since I was 7, so really my home is in Australia. But I've moved around a few times. So whenever we used to come to Australia, we used to always talk about home, and home always meant Wales, Mountain Ash. So you can see there's, I don't know if you can see, there's a bit of snow on the top. This is me. This is my sister. She's 2 years younger than me. This is my auntie. And even though this is my mum's younger sister, there was a big gap between her and her sister. And so my auntie's only 8 years older than me. So she was more like a big sister and spent a lot of time with us. And so I thought that was my hometown. But it also, I don't, this is, my printer is shocking. I'm thinking again getting a new one. That the hats were handmade, hand sewn, hand knitted or crocheted by somebody in the family. So there's my hat, a crocheted hat. Something that represents transportation. I've got the scooters, which we had to leave behind in Wales when we came to Australia, because you could only bring so much, which broke my heart because I loved my scooter. And I also thought that this could be in the background, because where I lived in Mountain Ash is a coal mining valley in Wales. Wales is very well known for its coal mining assets, and they used to always take the coal out by train to various other places. So I just thought that would be a good link for the background as well. Then stamping in not blank ink. I've got 2 colours, whether I'll do the stamping in one colour and the geometric shapes in a different background. And I've also got this sort of shape here, a label shape for the numbers. So it says here to do the numbers in non-blank ink. So I've got them there. Hopefully this works, because usually I just use paper. I don't really normally create a background. But I thought that this time that I would just do a little bit of something a little bit different. So I'm using red because, as you can see, my sister's got these are all whole handmade jumpers. Handmade jumpers. My sister's got a red jumper on, my auntie's got a red jumper on. And we both got trousers. You know, like in those days, it wasn't very common for girls to wear trousers. My mum used to call them trews. In plaid, as Americans say, or tartan as we would say in Australia and UK. So we used to wear trews, and that was not very common for young girls to wear those sort of things back in those days. We used to wear them a lot. So I've done that. Do I want to put ink around the photograph? Just a little bit, I think maybe. I'm thinking of getting one of those Eco Jet printers. I can't think of the name of them. Epsom Eco Tank. The initial outlay is a bit expensive from what I can gather, but they are really good for the inks last a long time. So we'll see how see. It's been, I've been done a lot of people have, I follow a few people, Facebook groups on Facebook, yes, of course, and they quite often talk about the different printers, and people talk about what they use, and a few people have said about how they really like this Eco printer. So I thought I would do that. Quite like that. I might do it a bit darker so that I don't lose that. I'm going to stick that down. So thinking about getting that, because whenever I want to copy something, scan something and print it off, the images are always a bit muted, and I'm not really overly impressed. The printer didn't cost us very much, but we didn't want to spend a lot of money because we were just basically using it for documents and things like that to start off with. But now that I've started doing junk journals and tags and other things, and I'm hoping to sort of try to do some digitals for my Etsy shop, famous last words, because one of those things that could be a bit challenging. I think you need to buy the program, so something else to think about. Did I have that round the other way? Probably did. I did. There you go. So just need to have that a bit dark, I think. So I hope you're all well and getting some crafting done. It's Saturday here, and woke up to the news that one of Australia's greatest bowlers has died at the age of 52 of a heart. They think it's a heart attack. It was a bit of a wow, really kind of thing. And it's a bit like it, the last couple of weeks. Every time you wake up in the morning, there's been something awful to sort of absorb, and try not to let yourself get depressed about it. With the Ukraine thing and the floods in New South Wales and Queensland is just, and then the day before Shane Warne died, last night, another cricketer died from Australia, his name was Rodney Marsh. He was had his heart attack last week, and then he died this week. So and then the people are dying in the floods, and people are dying in Ukraine. It's just awful. Sorry, glue everywhere. What am I doing? So I've done some geometric shapes. I don't know if I want to do any more. I'll see if I'm going to do some black around it to see how that goes. Numbers. So I'm going to stamp the numbers. So that sort of kills two birds with one stone, as they say. Maybe I should do one on the side here. Oh, it's trouble with if you press too hard in the middle of these stamps, they pink up the ink in the middle. Yeah, they did. They did. Oh well. Do I want any more? No. We'll think about that. Do I want any more? Perhaps not. I was planning to do the shape first and the number on top, because this number's too small for that shape, so I might do some blue stamping now. Numbers. So what kind of crafting have you been doing lately? Have you been doing collage or journals or drawing or doodling. Lots of things you can do for crafting. Knitting. I follow somebody on Instagram, and they crocheted all these really cute little toys, and they're lovely, really lovely. Oh, any more? Got some other numbers here. These all came from Tim Holt's Field Notes collection. Quite like this collection because it's got lots of different things. I stamp a whole heap at once and cut them out and use them in my collages sometimes, or my card making. Comes useful. As you can see, this is why I get ink everywhere, because I don't. I just find that sometimes with rubber stamps that they work better with just using your fingers rather than using a block. But what I didn't like was that some of the stamps weren't in an edge kind of thing. So then I went out and bought this from Darkroom Door. But the thing is about the Darkroom Door ones is that they're not individual stamps. They're all just the one stamp. I suppose I could cut that out, but so I just stamped a whole heap of those as well, and put these stamps in the middle, and then they work out really well. Quite well. Just a couple more, I think, maybe I could do. It says not. I've done stamping in lots of colours, so I'm going to use some black now. Just take these ones out the way. This Tim Holtz ones. So yesterday we went down to the beach and we had lunch, and we were going to walk along the beach, but then it started sort of drizzling, and just wouldn't, while we were eating lunch, and then so we decided not to walk on the beach. We just walked along the jetty or pier or whatever you like to call them, and that was sort of really good to do that. It was sort of really weird because even though it was sort of spitting, it wasn't really cold. It's been quite sort of humid here. I think it's because they've got all this rain from this El Nino effect that we get in Australia, which comes off the Pacific, and that's why the eastern seaboard are getting all this rain. But now they reckon it's going to come down to Victoria and Tasmania, so they may get affected with the rain as well. So this summer hasn't been overly dry hot, it's been this sort of sticky, funny weather. Not necessarily sticky either, just sort of really funny. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's just sort of, the skies are overcast, and you're in dresses or t-shirts, and it's just weird how that sort of how that is. So I'm going to do some more circles over here to sort of matches over this side. My favourite colour, blue. Probably more the green blues rather than the dark blues, but I like lots of blues. And a bit of stamping just so it sort of matches. Oh, look, I've got a stamp all over my table now. That's all I needed. Actually, that's probably what I should have here. Oops. That's the only thing about holding it in your hand. It drops. Do you want some red? Why not? Why not? And I do have a bit of this background in, and I've thrown it on the floor, so excuse me, while I reach over and get it when I shouldn't have thrown it on the floor all the way over there. Whether I want to add any more, just this railway line maybe. That's here. Just a bit of that. So, found out my mum's improving, which is a good thing from her. For those people who've been following me, she's improving, which is a good thing. But I only just found out the other day that my sister's been suffering from vertigo, and I've had vertigo before, and it's a horrible thing. It just makes you feel so yucky, and everything just feels so out of kilter. It's quite unsettling. When I was at work one day, I was going over the car park, and I just collapsed. And just lucky enough, there were two teachers still talking there as well, and they said, "Are you all right? How did you just fall over?" I said, "No, I just collapsed because the ground just seemed to sort of give way because I wasn't." My vertigo was causing me to feel quite unsettled, so then they rang my husband and said, you can't drive home, Kay, because it was half an hour to drive home. They said, you can't drive home, you need to get somebody to pick you up. And I said, well, that's going to be hard because who's going to get my car? And they rang my husband, but lucky enough my eldest daughter was still living at home at that particular stage, and so she came down with my husband, and she drove one car, my husband drove me in the other car. So it's very unsettling to have vertigo, very unsettling. So she said she was feeling better, so hopefully that's the case, because she's been divorced a long time now and she lives on her own, and that's a bit of a worry for her if she's not feeling well, because like if I'm not feeling well, at least like my husband picks up the slack, because something I took this morning, my medications put me out of sorts today as well this morning. I have to take immune suppressants because I have this autoimmune disease which they don't know the name of. All they know that it's affected my lungs, and my lungs are damaged. So something I took this morning's made me feel quite wobbly. I think it's because last night I forgot to take my immune suppressant tablets. I think that's probably what's made me, because I took them again this morning like I'm supposed to, and that's probably what's made me feel a bit off. I hate taking things. That's why it's so hard to fight things off. So I hope you like my picture of my childhood. You know, like I'm looking at this picture, I must have been about 6 there, I think. Good looking at my sister. She looks a bit too old to be 3, maybe 3.5. Could have been 6, maybe. Because like I said, we came to Australia when I was 7. And came by boat, like we did the £10 pom thing. You paid £10, and so you were sponsored to come to Australia. Well, sort of sponsored, and you could bring things. Came on a P&O boat, and I have really good memories of certain things on the boat. I think it might have been when we dropped off at Ceylon, which is now called Sri Lanka, where the people came out in their little boats, and they were selling things off their little boats. They would have ropes up and going up and down to these little boats with goods that they were selling. And I remember my mum and dad bought some wooden bookends, elephant bookends, from one of these people who were selling things. And then another memory I have is going through the Suez Canal. I remember it being very hot and still. And I remember our first glimpse of Australia. That was pretty exciting. I also remember the sadness of when we left the Tilbury Docks, is where you left from England. The band was playing, and I remember it being a very sad song, and people were crying, and it was just not very nice. I think I've done that, just a bit of an outline. I've done that really badly, Kay. You can't see it. It's just shocking. I definitely need to get a printer, I think. Sadly, my father-in-law passed away last year, and just before he turned 95, and his wife passed away 2 years before that, and their estate was being finally settled. So my husband very said I could have a bit of money, so that's what I'm going to spend my money on. A new printer. Anyway, let's have a look. Got hats on the people's heads. I think probably I shouldn't have done the black. You can't see them at all now. Anyway, something that represents transportation. The scooters themselves and the trains in the background for the coal mining. Stamping in not black ink, which I've done a lot of. Hometown is is Mountain Ash. I'm going to actually write that. I don't know why I need to write that, but I'm going to. That was where I was born. And like I said, when I first came to Australia, whenever we talked about home, it always meant home, this home. Even though we lived in Australia, we had homes, and so this was home. So that's why I've got that there. And geometric shapes, which is the circles. And I think I should have just left that black out. I might have to reprint that photo and put it on top of that one and do it again, because I just don't like what I've done there. Anyway, I think I might have to do that just for my own peace of mind, because it's just bothering me now. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen today. Dear me. Give me a thumbs up and make a comment. Thank you very much for all those people who watch my videos to the end, and I'm really grateful for those and the comments that you are making. So thank you very much again for joining me. Join me next time. See you later. Bye-bye.